Mark chapter 2. Today is entitled just simply this: Bring them to Jesus. You know, there's a familiar part or event that happens in the life of Christ's ministry in Mark chapter 2. It's a story that we tell often about faithfulness. And I believe it's a story for us today as we reflect on the idea of, do we truly bring those we know that are in desperate need of healing to Jesus? Now, we're not necessarily talking physical healing. We're talking about spiritual healing. Are we bringing them to Jesus because we know that is where salvation is? And of course, we know that this moment opens and there are 4 friends and they have a 5th friend, and the 5th friend is paralyzed. And we recognize that those other 4 friends know that if they can get this man to Jesus, that he will walk again. And so there's some things we see. The first thing we see is that the crowd that is present, you see, the crowd serves as a hindrance. The crowd is surrounding Jesus and blocking the entry point for them to get this man to the place they need to be. Now, I think if we think about the crowd today in the 21st century, a lot of times the crowd may be the quote-unquote in crowd. It's those who are really tempting us to live for the self or just to disbelieve of what God can do, and they can deter us from being faithful to bringing people to Jesus. But what I find amazing is that these individuals would not allow the crowd to deter them, but instead they got crafty in how they got to Jesus. We know the story. They went to the roof and they opened the roof and they lowered him right at the feet of Jesus. This meant that they were willing to get this man to Jesus no matter what it cost, no matter what it took. They desired his healing so great that they were willing to do whatever was necessary that they would be placed at the feet of Jesus. You know, today you and I need to have the same passion for the spiritually paralyzed. We need to be crafty enough to say we want to place them at the feet of Jesus no matter what. We don't care what the crowd may say. We don't care if the crowd blocks us. We will find a way to put them at the place at the feet of Jesus, because it is at that place that healing can take place. But I think it's not only the crowd, it's not only the crafty nature. I think we also need to see how they were criticized. Did you know that even though the man was going to walk, that these individuals laid this man who is in desperate need of healing at the feet of Jesus? He was healed. And then the crowd and those around them criticized them for what they did. There's a truth here that I think is very important. Did you know that when we serve Jesus, we will have critics? When we serve Jesus and his kingdom, there will be some that criticize what we do. Here's the truth in this as well. If we are concerned about the lost and are willful to be crafty to lay them at the feet of Jesus, because we know that Jesus is the only place of healing, then we should understand that criticism comes with the territory, but that we would rather be criticized by the world and faithful before the Lord. Let me ask this question. Are you ready to do whatever it takes, whatever is necessary, to lay lost at the feet of Jesus? We'll see you next week as we start with Mark chapter 3.